We are live. This is Real Estate Radio with Damon Gatier of Damon Gatier and Associates Realtors, powered by Real. If you hear something that, what are you laughing about?
No, I'm going to interrupt you for a second because my kid said I wouldn't do it on the radio, but 6'7".
What? The whole 6'7" thing, I still haven't figured that out. It's like 6'7".
It's like whatever. It's like 6 or 7, whatever.
List, if you know what that is, you're smarter than me because I haven't figured it out. Listwithdamon.com is how you reach Damon Gatier and his crew. Listwithdamon.com. So, Damon, the last segment we were talking about what should be looked for in a house before starting your search. But here's the next question. I'm sure you get this a lot. How much house can be afforded?
Affordability is a decision between you and your lender, and you might have two differing opinions.
Meaning the lender thinks you can afford more than you can?
Or you think you can afford more than your lender says you can.
Gotcha.
It can cut both ways. So what they look at is they're going to look at your credit score. They're going to look at your debt to income ratio, like how much you owe against how much you make. And then they're going to look at your asset. And so you can have someone that makes a lot of money, like a lot of money. Debt to income does not look good. And so typically, typical lender wants the house payment less than 33%, 30%, something like that, and total debt less than 43, 50%, somewhere in there. So that means you add in the house payment, car payments.
Hang on, let's back that up. What does that mean? What specifically, less than 50% what?
Of your income.
Of your income.
Of your gross income.
Gotcha.
Which is before taxes, before anything.
Okay.
Alimony, child support comes out of that number. If you pay it, it can go into that number if you receive it.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the typical ratios. But if you made $30,000 a month, then that ratio doesn't play as much into it. 50% or 30% mortgage doesn't matter as much because you make so much more.
Yeah.
Okay? But that's the ratios I look at. And then, there's many people that, so I had somebody I know, Christina and I both know this person, and they and their husband just bought brand new cars. I'm like, well, you're not buying a house. And it's because, debt to income ratio. And so while they could afford a house yesterday.
Meaning the lender wouldn't give them the money for it.
No, because the ratios are out of whack.
Yeah.
So yesterday they could buy a house the day they can.
Huh.
And it's just because, and it's a lot of times people have to go sell a car. They have to go sell a car, pay off credit cards, that type of thing because of the ratios.
Is that common?
Oh, all the time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
So, Brett, I've known you a long time. You are more fiscally responsible than most people.
Yeah.
I mean, most people pay tomorrow for what they can't remember they did today. Mm-hmm. Meaning they put it on a credit card today. If you look at most people's credit card bill, and if you watch any of the news reports, what we have on credit cards is the highest rate it's ever been. If you ask most people, go look at your credit card and tell me what you're paying for. They can't tell you what they're paying for. They can't pull something out of their closet, put their hand on something in their house.
Nothing tangible.
That is on that credit card. It's there somewhere, possibly.
You mean in like services or whatever?
Anything. I mean, they go to Target 5 times and they have no idea. I mean, like, I know many people that have gone through their closets and pulled stuff off the rack that still has the tags from it, gone to return it, gotten hundreds or thousands of dollars by stuff they just bought and never ever used. And so, like, credit cards are an issue. Cars are an issue. And it's a big issue because cars have gotten exorbitantly expensive in the last 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
And so...
Kind of like houses.
And so those payments count against you. If you go to some of the bigger metro areas, the way people afford houses is they don't drive nice cars like we drive. It's a percentage nicer car than, say, someone in Chicago. And it's because in Chicago the housing is so expensive they can't afford to have a really nice car and a nice house or a decent house, and so they forego the nice car so that they can afford housing.
Wow. Yeah, I actually know someone who moved from Jersey to here, to Roanoke, Virginia, bought a very nice house, needed to move back, wanted to move back, couldn't move back just because the housing prices were so much higher there.
It's crazy. It's a big difference.
So credit card debt, because I've been asked this, and this may be more for like first-time home buyer, but I was asked a question actually once by my son, said, getting a credit card will help boost my credit score, right? I was like, I don't think that's the kind of credit you want.
It can, actually. You need 2 trade lines. So you need 2 trade lines to get the ball rolling, and you need them for more than a year. So you need 2 trade lines, and a lot of times it is a credit card. But
if you miss a payment on a credit card, doesn't that just wreck you?
Yes, but if you miss a payment on the credit card, maybe maybe you shouldn't buy.
No, I know. I understand. I'm just saying.
So here's the thing, and they've made it a lot easier than when you and I got started. When you and I got started, you got sent a bill, you had to write a check, put it in the mail, and pray it got there in time, pray it didn't get misplaced or anything like that. Nowadays, you can set up all the payments on it. And so what we tell people to do is, if they have no credit at all, is go get a credit card. If you can't get a credit card, get a prepaid credit card. And because you have to have credit lines, you have to have 2 credit lines. And get the prepaid credit line and get the credit card and set it up on auto payment. Just set up on auto payment. And initially, you kind of need to have it set, and you can talk to a lender to get more in depth on this. You don't need to pay it off 100% because you need it to register. Like, you need it to register, but you need to pay off almost everything. Like, I wouldn't leave more than like $5 on a bill, because why do you want to pay interest on anything?
Yeah, right.
It's just wasting money.
And so you crazy high interest too.
You do need credit. There's ways around it with cell phone bills and stuff like that. But I mean, even to get a cell phone, you have to have credit, unless you're going to do a prepaid phone. If you do a prepaid phone, then it didn't really help you anything.
And by the way, while we're talking about this and credit scores and everything, and you talked about some people just buying a house, like paying money for a house. And we talked about this the last show last week, but one of the things I think is a misperception is that Damon Gutierrez only deals in high-end homes. You're the number one real estate agent for homes sold in Roanoke, Lynchburg, and NRV, meaning homes, not homes in the 300 to 600,000 or 600 to 1.5 million or 1.5 to whatever. You'll sell any home. I mean, even those of us who live check to check, you can sell any home, and you're open to selling any home, right?
Yeah, if it can be sold, I want to be your guy. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if we've sold them from, I think the least expensive actual home we sold was $7,000 up to $1 million plus. It doesn't matter to me. I look at them as check boxes. Like, I want to help as many people buy and sell houses as they can.
And so what is like the lowest home price in the market that people would buy? I mean, is 200, can you buy a $200,000 home?
Yeah.
You can?
Yep.
Can you buy a $150,000 home?
Yes.
Okay. It just needs some work, or?
Probably going to need work at 150. And now if you're trying to do a government loan, FHA, USDA, VA, and it's sub 150, it's going to be much more difficult. And the reason it's going to be much more difficult because those loan programs are looking for perfect houses, but they're looking for houses with no issues. They don't want peeling paint. The heating and air conditioning has to be in good working order. The roof has to be in good working order. It can't have any rot, can't have any noticeable damage, all those things. And because what they do, it's a government loan, they're guaranteeing it, and they're guaranteeing it at or almost 100% value. And so they want to make sure that if they have to foreclose, they can move that property. They can sell it without having to do a lot of repairs to it. And so that gets very hard sub 150 now. It's difficult sub 2. It's doable. But what you have to think about is that's your first-time home buyer. And there's a lot of first-time home buyers competing for this one unicorn of a house that's 150 that passes all those equations.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so is it doable? Yes. Is it doable with a government loan, no money down loan, or 3.5% down? It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if that house is there, you're going to have investors wanting to grab it too for a rental. And so the competition.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, don't the investors kind of snarfle those up? I mean, I know you're an investor, but there are a lot of investors. Do those homes how do we beat the investors?
To beat an investor, you need to be dealing with somebody who has access to off-market.
Which is you.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
So get a hold of Damon Gutierrez.
There's a lot of deals that we have that. So when we buy a house, let me clear up one misconception here. When we buy a house, and I've told you this, you make money when you buy, not when you sell. If you pay too much when you buy, it's really hard to ever recoup that money, unless you're just going to keep it forever. And so when I say that, when I'm buying a house, there has to be enough meat on the bone. There has to be enough margin there for me to take risk on it. I'm 53 years old, and you know this. Like, I live my life for my kids. I'm buying houses not for me. I make money for me. I buy houses for my kids. I buy houses so my kids don't have to live a life like I did to get to where I am today. And so,
by the way, when he says that, he shuts off at 5 o'clock on Friday. You are family driven.
I'm dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I appreciate. He told me today is get done with this radio show quickly because I got to go coach.
That's right. I mean, my first job's dad. My second job's real estate, but I work them both full time. So, and what I mean by that is there's stuff that I don't buy because there's not enough meat on the bone.
Yeah.
They're still good houses, but there's not enough margin for me to do it. I can find other opportunities opportunities and more margin at. And that's a lot of the off-market stuff we sell. Like Dawn, my sales manager, you met Dawn. She loves my off-market stuff. I think she sold 4 of them in the last year that they never hit the market. Like, I'm like, hey, I got this house. If you have anybody looking, it's, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's going to be $170,000-ish dollars. You have somebody looking, and she'll be like, oop, I got somebody. Oop, I got somebody. Oop, I got somebody. Oop, I got somebody. And so if you're in that price range, reach out to us, because we do have an inventory of off-market stuff that people have reached out to me about buying, and it's just not enough margin there for us to do it.
But kind of any price range, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you've got houses that come to you that before they hit the market. So that's how you beat the investors that come to you and go, this is what I'm looking for.
Correct. Oh, we have that. We have a whole coming soon list. We have a lot of inventory that, like, I know of a lot of inventory for anywhere from a week to 8 months before it hits the market.
Dang. And your database is massive, isn't it?
My database is pretty big. It's got 92,000 people in it.
So, and really, if you want to list your home, there's a pretty good chance you're going to find a buyer for that home just within your own database.
The odds of there being the buyer in my database is close to 100%.
Really?
Yeah, it's close to 100%. And what you got to look at, I mean, in this metro area, there's 400,000 people. That's kids.
Yeah.
Significant.
440,000. Yeah.
So you take the kids out, boom, I don't know what the number is, you're down to, 325,000.
Yeah.
You take married people out, you chop that in half, and all of a sudden a significant portion of the buying population is in my database. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to buy it through us, because they might have an agent, but they're still in my database.
Yeah.
And so when we list a property, we're going to shoot it out to everybody in the database. So, your agent might not tell you about it. I might tell you about it, and you still buy it through your agent. And that's okay. That's okay, because people have friends and family that are agents. I mean, not everybody can use us, even though they should. Not everybody's going to use us. But I mean, it's, the odds of the buyer, usually when we get a contract, I'll take the buyer's name. If it's on one of our listings, I'll put it in the database. I'll be, yep, there they are. And I can see they're looking on my site, they're doing everything. And that's okay. That's okay. That's why we built the site.
Bottom line is, if you're ready to sell and/or/buy, Damon Gutierrez is who you want to reach out to. Go to listwithdamon.com for the number. That's listwithdamon.com.